we'll be on, I'll be on Facebook looking at what would be considered all of these financial gurus popping up with these business strategies and advices. And something they always talk about is, or bring up as these strategies comes to expenses or not having income for the reasons of offsetting taxes and so forth. And I feel like that yes, there's value in, of course, making sure that you are paying the right amount of tax, that you are not overpaying or underpaying, because you want to make sure that you're paying the right amounts. But you do want to make sure that your expenses are properly allocated for. Do you have any comment about that? As these folks are saying, "Oh, try to make it look like you don't have money, even though it is sort of legal." How would you approach someone whose goal is maybe, do I not want to make money to have to pay tax, or how would I play that balance and strategy?
If you look at owners of professional sports teams, and I'll use the NFL as an example. Here in New England, we have the New England Patriots, and the owner owns another company that he made all his money from. The Patriots on his tax return, and none of this is public, so we don't really know this, but this is just an assumption I'm making. The Patriots usually overspend because they're trying to get a product out. They're trying to, obviously win Super Bowls and be successful. But ultimately, there might be what we call in the industry a loss leader, which means the Patriots bring in revenue for ticket sales and merchandise and everything they do, but then they pay players, they pay staff, they pay all their expenses. They might not be making money, but then he has another company that he's making money with. Between the two of them, kind of offset each other for his taxes, that he's not overpaying on the tax side. So a lot of people try to put that stuff together. For some people, it's easy. For other people, there becomes an issue because then whatever money you're making on your personal side or in your first business, you're basically just kind of losing in your second business. So if you have the cash flow to do that, that makes sense. A lot of people don't have that extra money to be able to do that, as well as there's an IRS regulation where if you have a business and you lose money 3 out of 5 years, the IRS could deem your business a hobby, which means you cannot have those losses anymore. So it's very rare that that stuff happens, but if people do take advantage of it and really are, not paying attention to what's going on and trying to run a lot of money through those losses, the IRS could stop that after a couple of years, and then you don't have that ability anymore. And then another little disclaimer that I've seen on, because I see all the people on all the social media stuff, a lot of the stuff they say is right, but in a 30-second snippet that they do, you can't get the full picture of really how that's going to work for you, which is, again, a sales technique of every single business trying to sell their products. Because again, the IRS regulations, anyone can read it. If you have 3 days of doing nothing, and you want to read the IRS regulations, go right ahead. You'll probably fall asleep a couple times. It's not the best book out there to read, but everything is public. So there's really nothing that people are bringing to the table that someone else can't do the same thing for. So I just caution people to look what's best for them. Think about today, but also think about tomorrow, because the decisions you're going to make today obviously affect tomorrow. And you don't want to lose everything today and then have to pay taxes in the next year because you don't have those potential write-offs that you took in the first year. So everything that they say is true. It's just they're only giving you about 2% of what really has to happen at that point. And then talking to someone or doing your own research will actually figure out what's going to be best for you, because there is no one size fits all for every business or every situation. You need to figure out what's best for you, because that's really what's going to get you to sleep at night and then not be in the crosshairs of the IRS, where they are coming and making changes to you, or taking things away that you thought were going to be legitimate.
So pretty much, I don't want to be claiming 10 or 20 grand of income and 50 grand of expenses multiple years in a row is pretty much
Yeah,
the
there's only one exception to the rule, which is I believe horses, something to do with horses, and there that you're allowed to do it 5 out of 7 years. But for the most part, it's a seasonal thing where it's up and down, where they give a little bit more latitude to them. But the IRS will, you just don't want the IRS, they should know about you. You should just kind of be a number that they see every year and go through. The minute that you're on their desk and they know you by first name, then usually things are not going to work out in your favor.